Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. 27 commitments in this class, 27 letters of intent have come in to LSU. It is not yet 1:05 p.m. Central Time. So as we predicted, as the folks over at On3 or Go247 or wherever, Tigerbait, wherever you find your recruiting information, all predicted, it was a boring day for LSU in the best possible way. There's been chaos in Gainesville, chaos in Auburn, chaos in Columbus. There's been stuff going on in College Station. In Baton Rouge, very quiet. 27 letters went out, 27 letters have come in. And this signing class for the early signing period, we believe, is complete. Now, Dominic McKinley, the 5-star from over in Acadiana, is still looking around and has told everyone that he's going to wait to sign until February. There's a push apparently going on from maybe Texas, maybe Baton Rouge, to get that document signed today. Doesn't sound like that's going to happen. So I think, based on what you read from the folks over at On3, that this is pretty much it for LSU. And you know what? That's okay. You don't have to flip 3 guys at the end. You don't need the 5-star splash at the end. You go out and get 27 guys committed, and those 27 guys sign on the dotted line on signing day. That's a job well done. So let's go into LSU's class player by player, but we'll start by the numbers. 26 high schoolers have signed with LSU today. 1 junior college player has signed with LSU, and they'll take 3 transfers today that they'll announce. So that's 30 total new additions to the LSU football program. Of the high school signees, if you look at On3's industry rating, which takes all of the different outlets into account, you're talking about 17 4-star players and 9 3-star players in this class. No 3 stars by the industry rating overall. There are certain 5 stars. There are some that are ranked 5-star at some different places, but if you look at the industry rating, you're looking at 17 4-stars and 9 3-stars. 11 of them are on the offensive side of the ball, 14 on the defensive side of the ball. Of these 27 commitments, 17 from Louisiana, 5 from Texas, 1 from Georgia, 1 from Florida, 1 from North Carolina, and 1 from Mississippi. If you look at On3's state rankings, LSU has signed 8 of the top 10 players in the state of Louisiana today. Wardell Mack headed to Texas, and then Dominic McKinley remains essentially uncommitted after verbally committing to Texas A&M, now saying we're going to open things up and wait until February. So if your concern was that Brian Kelly would not be able to recruit the state of Louisiana, would try to go too national, if you look at his second class, the first full cycle he's been able to recruit, to pull 8 of the top 10 in the state of Louisiana and to get 17 commitments from inside the state, I think is a really, really good place to start for Brian Kelly. Let's look at the offensive commitments that LSU has secured. They took 1 quarterback in this high school signing class. That's Colin Hurley. He's been committed to LSU for 2 years since he was a freshman in high school. He skipped a year of high school and is going to be an early enrollee. You're going to talk about a guy that comes into campus before his 18th birthday. That's very difficult to do, but he's a talented kid, has not necessarily grown a ton since his freshman, sophomore year. You're looking at a 6', 6'1" quarterback that's 215 pounds, pretty well put together. Was incredibly highly rated for his class as a young high schooler, has now drifted back, and you can look at him as a 4-star or 3-star depending on where you look at. But he is a quarterback you add in this class. He moves into the quarterback room that will now include A.J. Swan. It will include Ricky Collins and, of course, Garrett Nussmeier. At running back, I'm thrilled with the addition of Caden Durham. Caden Durham is a 4-star from the Dallas area, Duncanville High School, and I think he's got a chance to be a star. Now, I realize on signing day, every 3-star is underrated. Every 4-star could be a star. Every 5-star is a pro game changer. I get it. That's how this day works, and the vast majority of the players in this class don't even finish their time at LSU. But I think Caden Durham is got star written all over him. He's a track star that has got a low center of gravity and a sturdy frame. He's been a home run hitter at the highest level you can play in Texas. I've talked about this a bunch. LSU, in my opinion, has not had the elite level NFL backs that it churned out for 20 straight years over the last few years, really since Clyde left. Caden Durham, as well as Caleb Jackson, kind of look like that to me. I'm ecstatic about the addition of Caden Durham. 3 wide receivers in this class. You follow up a really strong wide receiver class from last year that included Shelton Sampson and Jalen Brown and Kyle Parker and Kai Preen and those guys. That's a really athletic, talented group of receivers. This one is as well. Jelani Watkins, a 4-star from the Houston area, is track fast. Got to learn to run some routes. Got to catch the ball a little bit better, but the raw tools and the speed are certainly there. Kylan Billiot, 4-star from Homa, has got incredible athleticism and a good frame, good size. And then Michael Turner, a 4-star from Curtis, is a really, really good-looking prospect at wide receiver as well. None of these guys are 6'5", 6'6". They're more mid-sized receivers that have really, really good speed and athleticism. So you add 3 more wide receivers into the class. You're losing a ton of production here with, we think, Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors moving on. Got to keep stocking those shelves at receivers. They've got a lot of young talent there. They're adding to it. Trey'Daz Green is the only tight end in this class, and he is a monster. Maybe the best player in the state of Louisiana, depending on who you look at. They would say that he is. He's got freakish size at 6'6", 6'7". He can run. He can jump incredibly well. The catch radius is awesome. When Brian Kelly got to LSU, the tight end room was empty. You had to lean on a freshman in Mason Taylor, who will now be a junior next year. You've added Mac Markway, who's gotten significant playing time. Kamorian Pimpton, who looked really good in his workout yesterday that we got to see. And then you add maybe the top tight end in the country to this class. This is a really, really good-looking group of pass catchers that you bring in, and Trey'Daz Green is maybe the best-looking of them all. On the offensive line, there are 5 signees in this offensive line class. And I'll tell you, this is the first place we looked when Brian Kelly took this LSU job. Said, okay, what is Brian Kelly's MO? And one of them was that he's going to sign and develop elite-level offensive linemen. He talked about it in his introductory press conference. Leah Van asked the question about offensive line. He said, well, without getting too deep into it, there's a profile we recruit to. We recruit to that. We stick to it, and we develop it. We can tell by looking at it what he did at Notre Dame and what he's doing now at LSU. That profile is long, lean, agile offensive linemen who grow into their frames as college players. And you look at Weston Davis, who is a 5-star. If you look at On 3, is a 4-star by the others, a 4-star in the composite. That's a guy who's 6'6", 285 pounds, and really plays well at basketball. Like, if you look at his highlights on the basketball floor, he can jump. He's agile. He blocks shots. Like, that's the kind of athlete and kind of frame you're pulling in with Weston Davis. Ethan Callaway that LSU signs in this class. Another big, long, lean frame. 6'7", 300 pounds from North Carolina, a 4-star by the On 3 industry ratings. Look at Ori Williams. Ori Williams is from Texas. He's another guy that fits into this profile that Brian Kelly loves to recruit to. And Brad Davis has stuck to it, and they've churned out really, really good offensive lines. Ori Williams is 6'7", 300 pounds. And then Kyrie Lee is an interior offensive lineman. He'll play guard or center, but 6'5", 307 from John Ehret. That's another guy that is not 345 pounds that you've got to cut some weight off of. And then Joe Cryer is the last, Natchitoches Central. He's a 3-star by every single service, but a guy that's 6'4", 290 pounds and profiles to play on the inside. Again, none of these guys are 330, 340, 350, 360. That's just not the way Brian Kelly likes to go about recruiting his offensive linemen. So that's your look at LSU's 11-man offense. You have 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and 5 offensive linemen. 3 of them profile on the outside, 2 profile on the inside, but all of them kind of fit what Brian Kelly likes to do. So on the offensive side of the ball, I don't have really any question marks in terms of positions of need and players that they took. I think your quarterback situation is very healthy. I think your running back situation is very healthy. I think your wide receiver position, while it's very unproven, and it will be a question entering the offseason, no doubt, the numbers are good. Kyron Lacey is there. Aaron Anderson is there. Kyle Parker, Shelton Sampson, Jalen Brown, Landon Ibieta. Then you look at this group that has Jelani Watkins and Kylan Billia and Michael Turner, and you bring in a transfer from Mississippi State. Like, you've got plenty of guys with a lot of talent at wide receiver. Offensive line looks phenomenal at this point. So offensively, You've got the continuity of Mike Denbrock. You've got a fourth-year starting quarterback, and then your numbers across the board are very good. Now, numbers don't necessarily mean that it's going to be great all the time, but it's a good start. If you don't have any numbers, you got no chance. LSU looks healthy really across the board on offense, and today was a really good step in the right direction. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.